So today we're back to do more of our Space Marine. This time we're going to focus on details. So I'm going to start with the chest piece here. You can see the black guard that we had from last time where we base coated or undercoated them. We're going to use the following colours. We're going to use some Khorne Red, we're actually going to use some different brown for that, so we're not going to use Mornfang. We're going to use Leadbelcher. We're going to use Abaddon black. For the brown, I'm actually using Rhinox hide, and remembering to shake our paints up here. And have the thin brush point there. When I'm painting the Aquila here, I'm not worried about painting over the white. I'm going to go back later and spruce up these details. So we can see here it looks a bit patchy, but that's okay. I'm going to use the Rhinox hide because it's darker. Now I used the Mornfang brown, but it's too light here, so I've gone back over it and painted it in the Rhinox hide. I've now got my Leadbelcher on a really fine detail brush so that I can paint in here, and it's actually Leadbelcher and Abaddon black mixed together, so a tiny bit of Abaddon with a bit of Leadbelcher, a normal size of Leadbelcher, and just painting it on there to really accentuate that detail, doing it on all of the sort of under armour parts, so on the hands, on the arms. You can see here as soon as I'm putting it on there on that black, it's really standing out, so it doesn't look like one colour. So using Leadbelcher for that. I'm not sure how I feel about the Leadbelcher on white at the moment. I tried it for this model and it looks okay as the outcome, but I've used black on previous Blackguard models, so you can see here it looks totally different, and really does stand out to the white. Doing it on the helmet as well. Now when we've put the helmet on the model, we won't be able to see this bit, but we'll be able to see the underside, so it's always better to do it. And doing it on these fine details as well, so any pipes, so there's a pipe here and there's a pipe also on the leg as well, and on the backpack, all the metal sort of vents that we have on there, painting all of those with our Leadbelcher. There's also little details like buttons and stuff you could paint in the Leadbelcher if you want to give it that metallic sheen, but I'm sticking right now with these vents and the afterburners here on the backpack, the jets, or the jet-esque looking things that aren't actually jets, but are just vents for heat on the back of the armour. So you can see there how it looks with the white, looks really good. Now going to the helmet, I'm going to use that Khorne Red. Now this is going to take a couple of layers, so you can see here it looks really thin, and it's just about going over that again and again and again. Wherever we're going to paint gold, we should put Rhinox hide. Now again, I used Leadbelcher because at the time I wasn't thinking, but we should use Rhinox hide here, and it really insinuates the gold later. Again, use Rhinox hide here to get a nice dark brown for the sheath for the sword. It took me a while to realise that the sword was coming out of the sheath for this. I was very confused when I started. So the sword is just going to be in plain Leadbelcher, that silvery colour, just to make it look good there. And then moving on to the weapons, so painting Leadbelcher on the bolt pistol, it's not, well it is a bolt pistol, sorry, the bolt pistol, on all the under details for the weapon there. And you can see those have all been done. Also doing these top bits, so there's a little sort of, not rangefinder, but kind of rangefinder bit at the top, and there's also these little divots as well that you should paint in there. I'm going to do the same on the Infernus here. I can't remember the name of the flamer, that's what it is, it's flamer. So doing it on these bottom parts, doing it on the sort of parts, the metallic parts of the flamer gun here, and on the base as well. Now on original ones or other ones I've seen, you can use Balthasar gold for that sort of fuel canister at the bottom as well. Either of those works. Moving back to the body, I'm going to paint these satchels. So we've done the front one. Again, I've used Rhinox hide for this. I've gone over this. I originally used Leadbelcher, but I think it's too light. Looking at when it was finished, it was dry. It was way too light. So using Rhinox hide now with that to make it that darker shade. And moving on to the actual flame weapon, the proper part of it now. So we've done the base of the flame weapon. Flamer here, I want to do this and I want to have it look as though it's been heated up. So starting with the Balthasar's gold at the bottom, making sure we're painting that whole bit, even in all those wee holes and everything, so that it's got this consistent colour, and then putting Leadbelcher on as the next layer, leaving this kind of part of the Balthasar gold at the back, And then finally, a really, really watered down Naggaroth Knight paint. So at the end, so it looks like it's recently been fired. You can see there they've got that texture and that detail for looking like it's recently been ignited. Now the gold onto there, so the Retributor's armour on both the canister of the skull and then this little thing here that I don't really know what it is, but painting those both gold. Rakarth flesh and Mephiston Red are going to be used for the seal, purity seal here. So the paper for the Rakarth flesh colour, and then the Mephiston Red for the actual seal itself. Right now we're just focusing on all these little details, all these little pieces that we're going to be using or making it kind of stand out a bit more. So I'm going to use Corax white for my weapons. I've used that for all of my Blackguard weapons. They all have this white. It's up to you what colour you choose. It's really whatever stands out. Okay, and I've done the same on the Flamer. I've painted the top part white, but I've left the bottom part black. I really think that looks good, standing out. And here's the finished model put together. We will go over and we will wash this in our next episode and look at that.